House of Games was David Mamet's first directing job. David Mamet, one of the biggest and best playwrights. He's a Pulitzer-winning playwright, too. He's the guy that did Glengarry Glen Ross. And he wrote the script for The Verdict. He did a few other big things, and yeah, House of Games, which was one of the most acclaimed films of 1987, is one of his best, I guess you could say. David Mamet has written more things than he's directed, and in terms of what Mamet has directed, I would say that House of Games is probably his best. In terms of something that David Mamet has done, like, had any part of, yeah, House of Games is not his best, but in terms of directing, House of Games, yeah, that's his best one. The movie is all about the duality of people, like in terms of the good and bad, the darker impulses of people, the ego of people, con games. So the movie stars Lindsay Krause as this psychiatrist who just released a best-selling book, and she's she's a kind of a hotshot, but she's still pretty good at her job. Yes, she went to school for how many years studying psychiatry. She did a best-selling book, but what does she actually know about people that, say, have gambling problems, about people that have actually been scarred for life? She's only read about those things, she's studied those things, but there's a difference between studying those things and actually living through all that. One day, one of her clients says that he's in debt of thousands and thousands of dollars to this gangster. She wants to clear his name from everything, and finds out that the gangster, who's played wonderfully by Joe Mantegna, is like the best con artist in the game. Now, because he's such a violent individual, and she finds so many crazy things happening with his friends. Yeah, she's really overwhelmed by everything, and she unintentionally gets suckered into all these different con games that Mantegna and his friends are going along. Now, what's really good about this film is throughout the whole thing, you wonder who's conning who, and like, is Joe Mantegna going to do something totally crazy, unexpected, that will screw her over? Will there be all these crazy things that, like, you wonder, like, because that's the way movies about con artists are, like. What's really cooking there? Some bits in the film are kind of predictable because when we get to know exactly who Joe Mantegna is, the shock value isn't very high in a whole lot of parts. But because we get to know so much about Mantegna and so much about Krause, we feel for them because Krause plays such a prim and proper, well-educated woman. And she's constantly being duped and suckered into such deep and dark impulses of the crime underworld. You wonder, like, is she going to get out of this all okay? Is she going to get killed by any chance? Is she going to do some crazy crimes? But also, aside from the acting, the performances, and the deep meaning of everything, the movie is also pretty well directed too. It's very atmospheric, it's pretty dark, and you see all the smoking and the dark lit rooms. This movie, yeah, as it said, it's from 1987, and the movie almost has a feel of like a film noir or a Roger Deakins film. This is not quite as good of a con movie as something like Paper Moon. it does come pretty close. So I'll give House of Games from 1987 3.5 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.